And welcome to Ironworkers Local 759. I'm MPP for Thunder Bay Atikokan, Kevin Holland, and it's great to see everybody out here today for an exciting announcement. I'm so pleased to be joined by my colleagues. First we have Minister Sam Oosterhoff, Minister George Pirie, Minister David Piccini, and of course our fantastic Premier Doug Ford. Thank you. So, while I'll leave it to Minister Piccini and Premier Ford to share the exciting details of why we are gathered here today, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude for the unwavering commitment of our government to ensuring that Northwestern Ontario continues to thrive and prosper. In Northwestern Ontario, we know the importance of targeted investments that not only support our economy, but strengthen our communities. Today's announcement is a testament to that commitment. It is a reflection of our government's dedication to listening to the needs of our residents and businesses and responding with actions that will make a real difference. Our government is investing in the potential we know that lies within all of our communities. So I'd first like to welcome to the podium our worship, Mayor Ken Boschcoff, City of Thunder Bay. Thank you.
Thank you, your former worship, Kevin. And now esteemed member of the provincial government. So this funding, premier, ministers, honorary dignitaries, it's so amazing. I don't know how many times the premier and Minister Piccini have been here, but it's a lot. And I think Kevin has been tacking up the number of times ministers have been here, and it's closing in on 100, so he has the exact number. But all I know is that we've been very fortunate to have a government that has been listening to us. And on a file like this, in terms of helping us get that reach those housing targets, ensuring there's a trained, stable, and professional workforce is very significant. So this funding for us is once more making us very grateful for your support, your physical presentation here, and all the work you do for us. It's acknowledged, and our champion Kevin, we certainly acknowledge. So thanks everyone for being here. And I know that skilled labor, professional labor, the need worldwide is very significant. So here today we can actually celebrate in helping being part of the solution. So congratulations to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate your remarks. So we're joined today, we're going to have a series of speakers, but I'd just like to introduce the members that we have here standing behind us. First off, we have Adam McGillivray, Business Manager for Ironworkers 759. Ashley Larose, CEO of Science North. Chris DiGiacomo, General Manager of Thunder Bay NorCat. Christine Thomas, Director of Finance for Kiwatanuk. Sorry, I apologize. So without further ado, I'm going to call up Adam for a few remarks.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Adam McGillivray, and I am the Business Manager here at Local 759. I am pleased to welcome you all here today to our Union Hall and future home of our new training center. We are thankful for the partnership with this government and in our shared goals of improving skilled trades training. We have been working and planning for many years on this expansion and on securing our training center's training delivery agent status. We are excited to build a world-class ironworker training center to better serve Northwest Ontario. 759 has a big vision to help meet our employer partners' needs for critical infrastructure and for the future of our industry. A training center is the key to this. Again, I would like to thank our partners in this, Minister Piccini, Premier Ford, and our local MPPs. I would also like to give a huge thank you to our President, BJ Salt, Melissa Rooney, our Local 759 members for all the hard work they do every day. I'll introduce now Ashley Larose from Science North. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Good afternoon. Bonjour and bonjour. It is such a pleasure and really quite fitting to be here in Thunder Bay today for this remarkable announcement. Science North has a mandate to serve all of Northern Ontario. And as many of you know, we have big plans to expand our reach in the Northwest over the next 4 years. Today, we're deeply grateful to Premier Ford and Minister Piccini for this unprecedented support. This funding is transformational for our organization and the communities that we serve. Dynamic Earth is an educational hub for earth sciences and mining, and we know the mining industry plays a crucial role in driving economic prosperity across the North. We're uniquely positioned to connect with diverse audiences, including First Nations communities, to inspire curiosity around mining and critical minerals. With the province of Ontario's generous support, Science North will create a new state-of-the-art training facility at Dynamic Earth in Sudbury, offering life-changing opportunities for youth and underserved populations to explore in-demand careers in the mining sector and the skills trades. By partnering with industry leaders, we will enhance employers' capacity and contribute to the talent pipeline that addresses the mining industry's workforce needs both today and into the future. Thank you for believing in our vision and for investing in the future of Northern Ontario. Merci and miigwech. And now it's my pleasure to welcome to the podium Chris DiGiacomo from NORCAT.
Thank you, Ashley. And on behalf of Thunder Bay's NORCAT Training Center, we just want to welcome all our distinguished guests here today. In particular, Premier Ford and the Honourable David Piccini, and our local MPP, Kevin Holland, as well. With a 30-year tradition of delivering skills trades and training all around the world, NORCAT is really proud of the work that we do with the Ministry of Labour, Immigration Training and Skills Development to deliver multi-week, high-quality training programs to develop skills development specific around heavy equipment mining in the Thunder Bay and region. This is all, these funds from the Social Development Canada goes to not only help those individuals who get that training, but we're exceptionally proud to be a part firsthand of seeing these groups, especially Indigenous groups in remote communities, thrive from these investments. So thank you for the ongoing investment, and thank you.
That's great. So thank you, everybody, for your remarks. And without further ado, I'd like to turn the podium over to the Honourable Minister David Piccini for comments.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin, and good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for being here. Better training with a better job and a bigger paycheck. That is what we are on a mission to do as a government here in Northern Ontario. And I'm joined by an incredible team here, ministers from our government, under the leadership of Premier Ford, that's laser focused on Northern Ontario. 22,000 jobs. That's how many jobs we created the conditions for. We don't create the jobs, others do, but we create the conditions for those jobs. And that's how many jobs Ontario welcomed this past month in July alone. Manufacturing, mining, forestry, these jobs matter, and they're here in the North. And we can't do that without these partners who are here today. And there are people, remarkable people, who are training a workforce to meet these ever-evolving needs. You know, our economy's changing, and we need to ensure we have a workforce that is ready to meet those needs. That is what Premier Ford is doing, not building an Ontario for yesterday, but an Ontario for tomorrow. And we recognize that we can't do it alone. And that's why I want to thank Ministers Pirie, Minister Oosterhoff, Minister Quinn, who's also here in Northern Ontario today, Mayor Boschcoff, who's been such a champion and a partner. Our team at SMART, who are unfortunately, I don't know if the team from SMART's here today, but Local 397, Kiwetnak, Okimaniak, Ashley Larose from Science North. I mean, inspiring that next generation to get excited about these jobs. It starts when they're young. Ashley gets that, and I am excited for her vision, which is just getting started, and I can't wait to work with you on tomorrow's project. Chris, we were at NORCAT just yesterday. Health and safety. Not only do we have the best mining team backed by the best people, critical minerals that the world needs for decarbonization. But we have the best team leading the training. And Chris, thank you for your leadership and the work that your team does. And last, but certainly not least, welcome me with open arms in my first 2 weeks as minister, Adam McGillivray here at 759. Adam, you have inspired a next generation to get excited about the trades, and you're changing lives. Thank you for everything that you do. None of this, of course, would be possible without Premier Ford, and I'll say a few words in a moment. But from these underground training facilities at NORCAT to roundtables with the mining industry and the colleagues who are here with me today at Agnico Eagle, this has all happened, and MPP Kevin Holland is bringing all of us up, 92 visits, his incredible leadership, recognizing where the puck's going here in Northern Ontario. As employers are looking to hire tens of thousands of people, we have young people eager to start well-paying careers in the skilled trades, like from mining, forestry, and energy development. But not enough workers have the skills and training that companies need for these new jobs. That's why we launched the Skills Development Fund. Through this fund, we're investing $1.4 billion across the province, right here in Thunder Bay, to train almost 600,000 workers with the skills and training that they can be ready to work from day one on the job. Training workers for in-demand careers in innovative sectors is the smartest investment we can make with the strongest return for Ontario's prosperity and productivity. To laser target the workforce we need, we must partner with local employers, labor unions, First Nations, and nonprofits who know what is needed on the ground. And we can connect job seekers with employers. Now, I'm honored to turn things over to a champion for workers and a champion for Northern Ontario, and that's Premier Ford, who's enabled me through the Skills Development Fund to empower local trainers like Adam here, who will announce today's incredible investment in the North. This Premier understands where we're going, and I'm proud under his leadership because I recognize my success and my community's success that I represent in Port Hope, Northumberland, Peterborough South depends on your success here in Northern Ontario. We are all linked, and we can't do it without you. And we're unlocking an exciting workforce ready to take that challenge, ready to build a stronger Ontario, and it's all happening under Premier Ford's leadership. So, Premier, over to you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, David. Well, folks, it's great to be here, and good afternoon, and thank you, David, for that introduction. But he's the champion. He's pretty humble, but he makes things happen right across Ontario, all 444 municipalities, and working with great labor organizations. And I'm just so thrilled to be back here in beautiful Thunder Bay. You know, you heard the number, 92. I think that's a record in Ontario, 92 visits from ministers. I think I've been up here half a dozen times myself, and that's just since 2022. But again, Kevin, you're the champion. This is the reason these announcements are happening, and thank you for your leadership here. I'm here alongside, as you just heard from Minister Piccini, Minister Pirie, Minister Oosterhoff, and PA Kevin Holland. Before I begin, I want to give a big thank you to Adam and the whole team here at Ironworkers Local 759 for hosting us today. Folks, this is the backbone behind not just the North, but right across the province of the ironworkers. Without the ironworkers, nothing gets built. So Adam, keep going, and we appreciate your whole team. I also want to acknowledge and welcome the Mayor. Mayor, thank you. What an incredible host you are. Every time we come up here, you're showing great leadership here in Thunder Bay, and you know we're 100% behind you. Ashley, thank you. We hear all great things, the great work you're doing from Science North, and Chris from NORCAT, and Christine from KO. Thank you all for joining us. And Mayor, we're so grateful to be working with you, with First Nation leaders, with terrific organizations like the ones we have here today. Because if we don't collaborate and cooperate with each other, all three different levels of government and organizations, nothing gets built. But when we do collaborate and cooperate, there's no one that can stop us around the world. Competition's just ferocious out there. And I always give the credit to the people to help build this region, to help build its economy. Since 2018, our government has invested more than $700 million through our Northern Ontario Heritage Fund to support projects that create new jobs and drive economic growth. We're investing in the North's energy and agri-food sectors. I always love giving these numbers about the agri-food because sometimes people don't talk about it, but we export $25 billion a year all throughout the world, mostly to our number one trading partner, to the U.S. So I have to give the sector a real shout out for doing an incredible job. And we're boosting our mining industry, which is critical to the $43 billion of investment through the EV sector. We now are the number one destination in the world to invest when it comes to the EV sector, and it's all tied to the North. As we continue to build out a homegrown electric vehicle supply chain, connecting our critical minerals in Northern Ontario to automakers and EV battery makers across the province. Importantly, we're building the schools, hospitals, roads, and other critical infrastructure to support this growth and ensure that it's sustainable for generations to come. I always say, if you don't have the infrastructure, you don't have anything. But as I always say, we can't build infrastructure and we can't attract investments if we don't have the workers. That's why today I'm thrilled to announce that as part of our Skills Development Fund, we're investing nearly $17 million in new funding to train more than 36,000 workers. I can't even wipe the smile off my face when I say that, but it's great. 36,000 workers for in-demand careers across Northern Ontario. This is fantastic. So folks, this includes $10 million for the Agnico Eagle mines to train workers, including Indigenous workers, for careers in mining. And once you get trained with a skilled trade, you have a job for life. $3 million for Science North to build a new skilled trades training facility, and thank you to everyone at Science North. $1 million for KO to recruit, train, and mentor members from 6 First Nations communities in carpentry and other building trades. I say this every speech, but we can't do anything without the collaboration, cooperation, and working together with our great friends in the Indigenous communities, First Nations communities across our great province. $644,000 for Local 759 to build a new training center for welders, and I can't wait to come back here and kind of cut the ribbon there, Adam. If you have us here, it'd be great. We need welders all over the province, especially here in the North and in the mining sector. And $580,000 for NORCAT to deliver training programs for those interested in careers in forestry, mining, and energy. These investments will help train thousands of workers throughout Northern Ontario for better jobs that deliver better, bigger paychecks, as that's your favorite line, Minister, and that's really what it comes down to. We want better and bigger paychecks to bring home to their families. It will help build the homes, schools, hospitals, highways, and other critical infrastructure that the region needs. And it will help attract new investments and spur economic growth here in Thunder Bay and throughout the North. It's another important step as we work together to unlock Northern Ontario's tremendous economic potential. I want to thank you all again for joining us today. Thank you for your partnership, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
We will now go to reporters' questions. Reporters, please come to the mic behind me. Please identify yourselves by name and outlet. It'll be one question, one follow-up. First question.
Good afternoon, Premier.
Hi.
My name is Sandy Krasowski, and I'm a business reporter with the Chronicle Journal newspaper.
Hi.
Sir, my question for you is a little off topic today, but I want to take you to the Terrace Bay Mill. I know the steelworkers have reached out to you requesting possible investment, communication with Brila, the operating group of the mill, and they are desperately looking for any kind of information or responses to the opening or reopening or selling, for that matter, of the mill. Do you have a response for us, sir?
Sure. We're always there to sit down and support the workers, especially in the forestry sector. Sometimes the market dictates, and that's what's happening right here. We're putting money towards retraining the workers. Our ultimate goal is always to keep the forestry sector live and prosperous. That's what we're going to focus on. And maybe, Kevin, if you have any comments about the forestry sector, are you good? Yeah. Okay, you're good. Oh, you want to? No. Oh, okay. Good. But that's our goal, is to always support the workers. But again, the market, the world market dictates. But we're going to be there to support training for them as well.
Thank you, Premier.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Premier. Sarah
Hi.
Law, CBC News, Thunder Bay.
Hi,
In
Sarah.
2021, a proposal was submitted to Ontario Health for a 40-bed detox facility in Thunder Bay. The city, as you know, has the highest opioid toxicity mortality rate in the province, but it only has 25 detox beds. Will your government build more detox beds here?
Well, you must have heard me many, many times. I'm a big believer in detox beds to support people to get help. I'll be very frank. I'm not sold on these safe injection sites that are in neighborhoods that needles are all flown around. It's a haven for drug dealers, in my opinion. Let's get these people the support they need, build more detox beds, and I know our minister will be making an announcement shortly regarding that. I always want to support these people, get them back on their feet, get them a good paying jobs, and get them back into society. It's a terrible disease, no matter if it's alcohol or drugs, and I'm passionate about helping these folks. We're putting a record amount into mental health and addiction, about $3.8 billion with partnership with the federal government. So it's unprecedented money we're spending when it comes to mental health and addictions.
Thank you. My follow-up question, speaking of the safe consumption sites, there is only one of these sites left in Northern Ontario. It's located here in Thunder Bay, and I've spoken with many peer support workers that these spaces are essential for people to access wraparound support, including avenues to mental health and primary wound care as well. Can you provide an update of your government's review of these sites?
Well, we're going to review them all right across the board. We put money in. I'd rather put it into detox beds, into help, into support. And it all depends on where you're located. I've had endless, like on a daily basis in Toronto, their safe injection sites, the neighborhoods are going absolutely crazy. Again, there's needles all over the parks. Unfortunately, one innocent citizen got killed last year up by Leslie there, and it's not good. I want to help these people. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand, and I want to help them. They say that the safe injection sites help and everything. Well, the numbers don't show that, as far as I'm concerned. They say it's going to save the world. No, it's like putting an alcoholic outside the LCBO and telling them not to drink, but you'll get a bottle every single day. Doesn't make sense. That's my personal opinion, but I'm leaving that up to the Minister of Health and the communities. If the mayor says it's absolutely critical, they need it, then I listen to the mayor. But I'll tell you one thing, there's a lot of communities that are not happy right now. On a daily basis, I get calls about this.
Have you visited any of the sites, Premier?
I've gone by. I haven't went right into the sites myself. No, but, we're going to review all of them and make an assessment as we move forward. But I'll leave that up to the local municipalities to give us their opinion. I'll also rely on the health experts and the Minister of Health. I'm giving you my personal opinion.
Good afternoon, Premier Ford.
Hi.
Scott Sumner, North Superior Publishing, Thunder Bay
Scott.
Business Publication.
Great. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. I had a long discussion this week, actually, with Dominique, who's a city councillor.
Yeah, he's great.
And used to be union at Alstom Plant.
Yes, we have a great relationship. I just saw him, actually.
Yeah. So what can you tell me about the Alstom Plant and subway cars for Toronto?
Well, I always believe in making sure they're all built here in Thunder Bay, and we've proved that over the years. We're going to continue to invest into the plant, into the workers, and they produce incredible vehicles. So our government's always been there to support them, and we'll have a further conversation with Dominique. And I met the new leader over there, and I think it's Justin, and we're going to work collaboratively with him too to make sure that we always have jobs in Alstom here in the north.
Follow-up question about the Ring of Fire.
Yes.
The road to the Ring of Fire.
Yes.
Well, what can you tell me about that? Are there updates?
Yeah, it sounds like I'm going to be back here in September, or just up the road a little bit per se. And I think it's going to be great. We've worked with Chief Sonny. He's working with other First Nations communities. There's massive investments that are going to take place. But do you know who's going to benefit more than anyone? It's going to be the First Nations communities. They're going to have economic opportunities. They're going to have better health care. You know, they are not going to have to worry about having enough diesel to heat their homes throughout the winter. We're going to bring energy right up to these First Nations communities, and it's just a massive, massive win for them, and they're going to get the proper training. As Chief Sonny told me, he said, you hop on the bulldozer during the day, I'll take the nighttime, and we're going to get going. So, only concern, I don't know if I can go straight on those dozers, but it's all about supporting the First Nations communities and making sure that we have the critical minerals to support all of Ontario, all of Canada. And I'm just so grateful for the Chief's support. He is an absolute champion, this guy. He thinks outside the box. And just think, if we didn't do this, they wouldn't have the health care, they wouldn't have the energy that we're spending. I believe it's about $200 million working with Hydro One to bring poles right up there. You know, people in the city, even Thunder Bay and down in the south by Toronto, and they take it for granted. They take it for granted that they can just flick on the lights. They don't have to worry about the diesel. You know, so we're gonna change their lives. And now I got to tell you a story. So when I first went up to Greenstone, I went up there, and what an experience I had. Like, people take it for granted you can go get a Tim Hortons. But up there, they didn't. And now we're getting a Tim Hortons up there. We're getting an A&W, and people think, oh, that's huge for that community. But I sat down with the leaders, First Nations community, and I'll never forget, this gentleman came up to me, and I'll never forget this story. You know, he didn't have much, but what he had some fish in his freezer. And he said, you know, Premier, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to give you my last bit of fish. I'm thinking, oh my God, he'd take his shirt off his back to show, this is what I have, I will give you my fish. And then he said, you know, and I might have a little bit of meat there too. I have enough gas to put in my snowmobile to do more trapping. Like, man, that just gives you chills. And I tell that story over and over again. Just incredible, incredible people, and just amazing. So I got to get him down. He's a big Habs fan. Well, I'll have my Leaf shirt. He'll have his Montreal shirt on, and I'll bring him to a game. But that sticks in my mind. This shows character of communities and leaders there. He's amazing.
Next question.
Hey, Premier. It's Vasilios Bellos with TVT News here in Thunder Bay. Thank you
Yes.
for taking my question.
No, thank you.
You're talking about quite a bit of dollars going towards mining jobs here specifically,
Yes.
kind of building off the Ring of Fire road to their question. We have a lot of mining projects that are still quite a while off before anything can actually happen. What's the province doing at this point to maybe speed up that process and start getting minerals extracted?
Well, I'm going to give it over to the expert.
That's probably the guy.
Now, Minister Pirie, again, very humble guy. There's no one in this country, as far as I'm concerned, that has a resume like George does. It could go, and I don't even want to tell you because you'll be here for an hour and a half. His resume is from here to the floor. There's no one brighter when it comes to mining than George Pirie, and I'm blessed to have him as one of our ministers. So over to you, George.
Thank you, Premier. As you know, we've got a critical minerals strategy in place, and part of that is an investment in a junior exploration program. We've got $35 million into that. We've got an innovation fund as part of that strategy. That's $17 million that we spent so far on that. We've got the Aboriginal Participation Fund that we're active in every single community. We have the revenue sharing agreements that go directly back into the communities to build capacity. I've been in the minister for about 2 years. The first thing we did was to change the Mining Act, and that was to ensure that we could permit these mines. Everybody knows that it took 17 or 15 years, 15 to 17 years to permit the Cote Lake mine, which is just south of Timmins. That's got a critical mass of about 20 million ounces of gold. It took about, as I said, about 17 years to permit. And I was actually there at the ceremony with the Premier where the ground was broke to start the construction. And that was instrumental for me to get involved in provincial politics. And it's directly because of the Premier.
Thank you.
So now, it only took 3.5 years to build that mine. They spent $3.3 billion. They had full employment for Matawagami First Nation. They had full employment for Flying Post. They and their fleet is autonomous, so they got a heavy investment in AI. And they're so good environmentally, they don't even have to discharge water. What took so long? You have to have the right people at the right place, and that's what this team in Ontario has done across the board. The right people at the same place.
Appreciate that. And I'd like one more question for the Premier as well, please. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you. Now you know why this guy's a champ. This guy's incredible.
And maybe bring it back to the first question that was asked. Looking at Terrace Bay Mill, we know in mid-July, United Steelworkers District 6 did ask for a sit-down with your government. Its leadership is looking for answers regarding the future of the Terrace Bay Mill. Have you spoken to them since then? And if not, what is your message to them?
Well, our ministers have, and we're going to continue working with the folks up there, give them proper training. Again, I wish I could dictate the market. Right, the market is changing. We're going to come up with ideas with the frontline workers, how we can potentially find a new buyer, save the mill, but that's our ultimate goal, to make sure they're taken care of. That's where we're at right now.
CJ Goder, Acadia Broadcasting. The Fort William First Nation has declared a state of emergency in the past month, and they said they're looking to speak to all levels of government for support. Have you guys had any conversations with them yet?
I would have to talk to the Minister of Indigenous Affairs, Greg Rickford. I'm sure he's all over it right now. We'll be there to support him along with the federal government. I always say this government does more for the First Nations communities than any government that I could ever think of in the past, even overall. It falls under the federal government, but we're always there to support them in any capacity we can. And we always look forward to the federal government matching the funds that we support them with.
And one quick follow-up question. Do you have any comment on the ongoing RCMP investigations on the Greenbelt?
No, I've always said we're cooperating with them. We have nothing to hide. Come in, do whatever you have to do, and eventually we're moving on. But I want full cooperation. They know that because there's nothing to hide there. Let's get going on it. Thank you. Is that it? Oh, no, one more.
James Murray from Net News Ledger.
Hey, James, how are you?
Excellent. Thanks for taking my call, or my question. Trades and jobs are critical, and this really helps. Now, one of the issues that really hits, and you touched on it earlier, is with the opiate crisis and the homeless crisis that we've got with tent cities and drug use all over the city right now. What can we do? What is Ontario going to be able to do to help raise those people who are there at that point in their lives, that low point, to get them into those good paying jobs with a better paycheck?
Yeah, great question. I'll answer it very similar to what I did before. I believe in helping these people, getting the help, the proper help they need, getting more detox beds available for them. And once they move forward and go through the programs and they feel they're up to it, we get them a good paying job and support them. That's what I believe in. Just trying to help these people as much as we possibly can. We have, when it comes to shelter and homeless, we report hundreds of millions of dollars throughout our province supporting municipalities, and we're going to continue doing this. These people aren't bad people. They've run into a few bumps in the road. We're there to support them, give them the medical support they need, and counseling. So we'll be there, and hopefully they can get back on their feet and contribute to society. And as for the drugs coming in, we got to come down hard on these drug dealers. You always go to root cause, right? Where are these drugs coming in? They're coming in from all over the world, south of the border. But when we catch these drug dealers, we can't, slap them on the wrist and these judges give them bail, not once, twice, 3 times. It's ridiculous. You got to throw them in the slammer for about 5-10 years and teach them a lesson. Then they'll think twice about importing drugs into our province and killing people, because there's more deaths happening through opioids and fentanyl than the whole country has had, and crime scenes or murders. It's terrible. I can't stand these drugs. I despise them because they ruin so many families and communities. So.
And a quick follow-up, I was in Fort Hope last week, and talk about hope. They're building their school.
Yeah.
They had comments on how the Ontario government is helping to get that school going, and they're trying to do everything the right way. What message can you send to First Nation youth especially about the importance of education?
Education is critical. You know, my dad always used to tell me that's going to be the lightest luggage that you're ever going to carry in your life. And once you have your education, they can never take it off you. It's like having a skilled trade. Same things. Some kids may not be academics. You know, other kids can excel in trades, but that's still an education. You know, you can be let go from a company, you can move around, but no one can take that education, no matter what education it might be off you. So I encourage everyone, please stay in school. Do your best to go to college or university. And if you can't, then go into the skilled trades, because, you know, that's an education in itself. And the unions that we've been working with, and here's a perfect example of the Ironworkers, they're champions. They're teaching young people a trade that they'll have the rest of their life. So just stay in school and keep working hard, and you will be successful.
Last reporter.
Sorry, I don't mean to sneak in there at the end.
No, yes, that's no problem at all.
I'm Austin Campbell with SNNewsWatch.com. Thank you for being here today.
Austin Campbell. You know, my mother's a Campbell.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I never tell the McDonald's that, but I tell the Campbell's that.
Well, you never know, somewhere down the line, eh?
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Oh, we look like twins. What can I say?
Practically. No, it's true. You have better hair than
yeah,
me,
there you
so,
go.
Anyway, so my first question is, Sachico Lake First Nation recently discovered a mining exploration camp on their traditional territories that they were not aware of. And they said that the province granted the exploration permit to Exiro Minerals, and again, that they were unaware of that process. So I'm just wondering what the province is doing to address, you know, issues that crop up like this, especially when it comes to mining claims on First Nations traditional territories.
Well, thanks for that, Austin. I can be 100% honest. I didn't hear about it until you just told me, but I don't know. George, have you heard about this? Yeah, but we'll look into it. Our theory and our whole focus on our government, work with the communities, work with First Nations, work with the local communities as well, because it just doesn't work if you don't. It's you know, going to fail. That's the bottom line. But if we work together and everyone prospers, then that's great. So we'll look into that one for you.
Last question.
This one's a softball, I promise. What is your favorite spot to eat when you're in Thunder Bay?
Oh boy, that's a good one. You can tell right now, folks, I've never missed too many meals. But we're just at the golf course. They do some really good meals, but you know, I leave it up to my buddy Kevin when I'm here to host me. So why don't you give a couple restaurants a few plugs here, Kevin? Because you know every restaurant in there.
Well,
how do you stay in shape and I don't, buddy?
Not so much anymore, sir.
Yeah.
Well, you're putting on the spot. I mean, we have a great restaurant community here in Thunder Bay, fantastic foods. There's so many of them that I would recommend. They're too numerous to mention. But right off the top of the head, one of my favorite spots to go to is Tomlin. So it's great food there, great staff. And so that would be my recommendation right off the top. My first of many, but there's too many of them. I'm not going to get into them today. So thanks.
Boy, that's good. Well, that's a great political answer. You know, well, folks, thank you so much. The people of Thunder Bay are salt of the earth. I just feel like, you know, they treat me as one of their own. I feel right at home here. I can't wait to come back. And again, I just want to thank everyone up here. They're the people that make it happen. And Kevin, thank you again for your great leadership. And anything you need, folks, you just reach out to Kevin or any of our colleagues here or myself, call me on my cell phone. Just go online. My cell phone's on there. Just give me a ring. Oh, text message me, and I'll be able to get back to you. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
So just before we go, I was sitting here looking and stuff, and today I was looking up at the poster. This is the 70th anniversary of Local 759, so congratulations.